Okay. Are we live? Yes, we're live. Okay. Brilliant. So, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Reconnect and Recharge with me, Callista. So before we get started, I know I've put it in the chat box below, but if you haven't seen that, that's okay. A couple of things. If you have any injuries, please let me know beforehand, before we start. Please put it in the chat box below. If you are pregnant and carrying one or maybe more little ones, and you're in your first trimester of pregnancy, I would advise coming back after your first trimester is over, just so that you're protecting everyone involved, both you, your body, baby/babies. Okay, make sure you've got bolsters, cushions, blankets, some soft stuff, so you've got some clouds to float on at the end of the practice. And before we get started, oh, thank you, 𝗠cie. Wonderful to have you. I'm glad you're watching. Before we get started, if you're still kind of sorting yourself out with cushions and blankets and all of that good stuff, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing today. So, we've touched on grounding in past classes, but I think more than ever, especially coming to the end of the year and coming into the new year and lots of things happening, especially in the UK, lots of change. We need that sense of grounding. So I don't know about you, I know I definitely need it. And although this class isn't about me, I'm a human, so I'm having this human experience just like the rest of you too. And I know that grounding and grounding tools can be really powerful to kind of anchor you, not to be like, oh, I'm stuck, because we're not stuck. We're naturally free-flowing beings. But to get that sense of grounding and a kind of sense of safety, first and foremost within ourselves, so that we can deal with the challenging stuff that inevitably comes up in life, and it's just a fact of life that we have to deal with challenges, whether they're small, that kind of pointed discussion with your brother, with your mother, with your partner, or whatever it is, or maybe your boss. You know, those kind of uncomfortable conversations that you have to have, or bigger stuff, such as what we're dealing with in the world right now. So we're going to be using grounding tools, and I will offer a grounding affirmation, but I'm aware that this doesn't work for every single person. So please, if this affirmation isn't working for you, or if it feels jarring, or it just feels like, no, this does not ring true for me today, that's okay. That's why we have these tools, so that we can pick and choose what works for each and every one of us. Some stuff will work for me that won't work for you, and some stuff will work for you that won't particularly work for me. And the main thing about this practice of yoga is that it's really tailored, and then it's individual to each and every one of us. So these classes are about finding stuff to help support both your body, your nervous system, and your mind, to come to a place of balance. And that word balance is, again, that's a really individual thing. And it's a fine thing to find. You'll find that you'll feel balanced one day, and the tools and everything that have helped you on one particular day to help find that balance may not necessarily work the next day. So it's good to have a big toolkit of skills and techniques and practices in order to find your feet, so to speak. That's essentially what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be finding our feet and finding our ground in the practice. So these wonderful things tend to get forgotten about a lot. We squeeze our feet into shoes, very gorgeous shoes they may be, such as high heels or winkle pickers. I don't know if anyone ever used to wear those. I used to wear those quite a few years ago. That was a real fashion, wasn't it? Winkle pickers are pointed shoes, kind of like witchy shoes. So winkle pickers, high heels, or just really tight-fitting shoes. Maybe even if you ever did ballet as a kid, or even still do as an adult, it's all kind of squeezing everything into one, so it doesn't really allow your toes to spread. And our feet are our main contact point of our bodies, of ourselves, and the earth. And so if our feet aren't functioning as they should do, this is going to affect the entire body, our entire organism. And yes, that affects the mind too. So we can't really separate the two. We can't say, just the mind is not working for me, but my body is healthy, or my body isn't healthy, but my mind is fine. Usually you'll find that there are kind of little things, subversive things that are hidden, that may not be that obvious at first. So today we're really going to focus on that sense of weightiness. So concentrating on the feet, on the legs, and keeping it close to the ground. So close to the ground, close to that sense of safety, and close to that sense of solidness, which you'll also get from being in contact with the body itself. So without further ado, if you aren't already comfortably seated after my very long speech, I do apologise. Make your way into a comfortable seated position. And as I said, I'll offer you a grounding affirmation for today. And as I said, I'm well aware that it doesn't suit everyone, so take what helps you, leave the rest. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to place your left hand on the ground, on the mat, and your right hand onto your body. So we're feeling the earth, two different aspects of earth with our hands. The earth of this planet with the left hand, our receptive side, and the earth of our body with our right hand, which is more our giving side, that yang side. So yin through the left and yang through the right. So we receive through our left side of the body, we receive from the earth, and we give into the earth of our bodies. And just as you find that solidness through both the earth below and the earth of your body, the affirmation that I'm going to offer you today, again, this is totally optional, is the following. I'm rooted, I'm grounded, I'm safe. My body and my breath anchor me into this moment, the present. I'm rooted, I'm grounded, I'm safe. My body and my breath anchor me to this moment, the present. I am rooted, I am grounded, and safe. My body and my breath anchor me to this moment, the present. So oftentimes when we go into periods of stress and challenge, we can tend to really overthink things, overanalyze, and go into the mind stuff. And the body tends to get forgotten about a little bit. And the whole premise of yoga is finding these deep connections, reconnecting the mind-body and all that is within and out with. And just through the simple act of observing the breath, we start to connect the outer with the inner. So we bring our outer world into our inner world as we breathe in, and reconnect our inner world with our outer world as we breathe out. So all is connected here. Good, we'll take another couple of breaths here. Just allowing the belly to remain soft. And imagining that you're receiving that energy from the earth up through that left arm, and it's channeling into the heart, and that energy draws back down the body, down through the sit bones, down into the ground. So you're kind of creating this electric current, this circuit. Taking one more breath here. Lovely. When you're ready, if you had your eyes closed, gently flicken them back open. Take your time, just that you don't have this surprise of light. And we're going to start working through the feet. So, take your hands. Make sure your left leg is comfortable. So I like to have my left leg outstretched, and my right knee slightly bent. If it feels uncomfortable for the knee, place something on the outside. And just like little raindrops, start to drum your fingers on the soles of the feet. Up and down the soles of the feet. So we'll use several different types of touch, which activate different mechanoreceptors, which are essentially nerve endings in the body. And each different nerve ending senses a different kind of touch. So change in pressure, change in the type of touch or stroke or pressure, the intensity, the speed, all of that. And the mechanoreceptors that I'm quite interested in are called the Pacini or Pacini mechanoreceptors. And just by activating these nerve endings can actually help change the fluidity, the viscosity, so how tough or not the fascia is. So the fascia is kind of like spiderweb network of connective tissue that runs throughout the whole body. And oftentimes, when it's very, very tough, or when you've had trauma to the body, and I mean traumas in like a cut to the body or a break of a bone or tearing of tissues, this affects everything around that part of the body. So for example, if you've broken your ankle, This will affect the ligaments, it will affect the bones, it will affect the tissues. The most important thing is it affects the fascia. Now if you think about a spider web, if you've ever touched a spider web, keep going, by the way, keep drumming on the feet, and start going through the top of the feet as well, so both sides, the soles and the tops of the feet. So if you think about a spider web, and you pull on one end of the spider web, it actually affects the whole network. So not just this little line here, but the lines over here and the lines over here. Or if you want to think about it like a piece of clothing, if I start to scrunch up this piece of clothing here, it affects stuff up here. I can feel this pull here, I can feel it pull over here, I can even feel it pull down here, so everything is being affected there. So we're affecting not just the feet and the ankles, but affecting all this up here too. Okay, from there start to take the hands like this, so palms flat, up and down the feet. Just the right foot, sorry, not the feet. We'll take the left side in a little bit. And notice how it feels to touch your foot in this way. It's getting all those nerve endings alive and awake. And I'll change up the pressure. Now take your thumbs, just the thumbs, slide them up the feet from the heel through the inside, across the arch, the inner arch, all the way to the big toe, and then down again. Take a couple more like this and then start to work more through the inside. So we're going up here first, and then we'll go more towards the inside from the heel towards the second toe, and then work up to the third, fourth, and then final pinky toe. Work up towards the third toe, the middle toe, the fourth toe, and the pinky toe. Good, now extend that leg. Just notice how the right foot feels compared to the left foot. So you might feel kind of like tingling aliveness in the foot. Maybe it feels a bit heavier. Perhaps it even feels lighter. Just notice what you feel. And then let's switch to the left. So again, we start with our raindrops, drumming on the sole of the foot. It's amazing, just different types of touch. What different types of touch can actually bring to the body. Different types of sensations. Good, now take it onto the top of the foot as well as the sole. Keep drumming. If your fingers and forearms start to get tired, you can go like this with your hands, so all the fingers together. Because it's a lot of work for the fingers and forearms. And I'll change to flat palms, stroking up and down the top and the sole of the foot at the same time. So you're kind of cupping the foot with your hand, well, not cupping. So you've got kind of prayer hands, but sandwiching the foot in between your hands is what I meant. Different types of touch different surfaces, walking on different surfaces, for your feet to get different sensory experiences, is also really powerful. We don't really get that much nowadays, since most of us wear shoes. But if you can, walk around your house barefoot, and you've got different types of flooring, such as carpet, tiles. What else can you have? Wooden floorboards. All these different types of sensory input information is really healthy for your feet. Okay, from there let's switch it up, taking your thumbs, rubbing from the heel all the way up to the big toe and all the way down again. And you can press as firmly or as lightly as you wish. I would say go relatively firm, but this also depends on what's going on with your feet, if you have any injuries, if there's any soreness. Take care to the arch, sometimes this can get a little bit achy. And then start to work up towards the base of the second toe. And then towards the third toe. The fourth toe. This is also a really great way to not just to give sensory information, but to help all the muscles that run from the feet into the lower legs, so that when we come into our balancing poses, our feet are a little bit more prepped and are a bit more awake. It's like giving your feet a coffee in the morning to make them a bit more awake and aware. Okay, good. From there, slowly release that left foot. Just notice how it feels. You might notice those kind of nice tingles. Lovely, and then from there, let's make our way onto all fours. I'd say place your cushions out of the way. And tuck your toes under. Good, so you want to get a little bit of a stretch through the soles of the feet. And then from there, just very gentle rocking backwards and forwards. So as you inhale, rock forwards. As you exhale, rock back towards your heels, so you feel a little bit more weight go down into the heels and you feel more stretch through the soles of the feet and into the toe joints. Please make sure you're not pressing into any pain, so if here you start to experience pain, please don't sit all the way back. So we use these practices, breath practices, yoga poses and other tools in order to find a way out of suffering and to find a way to support you through the challenges that we inevitably all face. And if we're just using the practice as a way to keep us in pain, then unfortunately that transformation will be delayed. So remembering to be compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice. Never forcing anything. And allowing your body to open up in its own time. Take a couple more rocks. Good, then when you're ready, step the right foot forward, step the left foot forward, and find your way into a squat. So I'm going to ask you to keep your heels grounded just for the first one, just so that you can can see what's happening around the ankles. So often we come into a squat and we can lift the heels without actually accessing the mobility around the ankles. So keep the heels down, even if that means your squat is up here. I don't mind how low you are. I really want you to focus on that length through the back of the ankle and that compression through the front. Try to drag the feet apart so you feel that lift through the inner arches and that strength through the buttocks. Take another couple of breaths here. Good. When you're ready, inhale, slowly start to lengthen through the legs. Slide the left foot back. Take the back knee down. And then shift the body forward. So you want to find a stretch to the front of that left hip, but you also want to find an element of stretch through the back of this front leg, the back of the lower leg around the calf. So allow the knee to come forward as much as it can, but also keep the right heel on the mat. Good. So from here we're going to try to drive the toes and the ball of the foot down into the mat. So it's almost like you're trying to press your foot down this way. It won't move because the floor is under it, but you might feel that strength through the back of the lower leg as you drive it down. Stay here for another 3 breaths. Calming the breath as you breathe down into the belly. Now try to take the foot the other way, so it's almost like you're trying to lift the ball of the foot away from the mat. Again, the knee won't shift, so make sure not to shift the knee back in order to get the toes up. You'll probably find the toes don't lift at all, but you'll feel that strength through the front of the lower leg. Last 3 breaths here, so you're really strengthening all the muscles around the lower leg, which will in turn help create stability around the knee and also around the hip. Final breath here. Keep trying to lift the toes up towards the shin. Now shift the bum back, extend through the leg, and you'll find that the toes will lift off the mat. Good. Little shimmy of the hips from side to side. You want to feel an element of stretch down the back of this extended leg. Always connecting to the sensations experienced in the body. This is what is going to help embody our experience of yoga. If we're not connecting to the body, we're not connecting to the earth and that sense of grounding. And we stay up here in the mind. One more breath here. Good. From there, send it forward once again. Plant the hands down inside of that right foot and step the left foot forward. We'll take it to the other side. Slide the right foot back. Back knee comes down. We'll take a tilt of the pelvis so you're drawing the tailbone down towards the mat. We're feeling an element of stretch the front of that right hip. Take that left knee forward just as much as it will go without creating any pain in the knee or around that left ankle. And make sure the right buttock is active. So you're giving it a little bit of a squeeze. Good. From there, start to press down through the ball of the front foot. Almost like you're trying to lift the heel, but the heel will stay down. Keep the knee in the same position. Another 2 breaths here. Final breath. And now try to lift the toes towards the shin. Again, the knee will stay in the same position. You're trying to lift the ball of the foot as well. You feel all the muscles through the front of the left leg, through the shin, activate. Take 2 more breaths here. And still trying to draw the toes towards the shins, start to shift that right hip back, extend through the front leg. Good, little shimmy of the hips from side to side. You want to find the target area down the back of this extended leg. Another 2 breaths here. And when you're ready, take that left knee forward again. Step the right foot up. Okay, from there start to sit it back down into your malasana, into your squat. You may find that you go a little bit lower this time because we've worked through the fronts, the shins. You may find that heels are lifted. That's okay. This time, just allow yourself to go as low as you can into the hips, even if that means the heels are lifted. If you want a bit of support, place a brick or something solid or a cushion under each heel. Keep trying to slide the feet apart. You feel that engagement through the butt muscles. And your butt muscles help to draw the knees out to the side and also extend the leg behind. We'll take 1 more breath here. Inhale, press into the feet, start to extend through the legs. Take a little hang. Shimmy of the hips from side to side if that feels good. If it feels very intense through the backs of the legs, to keep them straight and soften the knees. One more breath here. Good, from there, plant the hands down, step it back into your plank, and then rise straight up to your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale to look forward, lift to the balls of the feet, look forward. Exhale, step or float your way to the top of the mat, finding that sense of solidness of the ground under the feet. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise to stand, lift the arms overhead, lengthening through the front of the body, lifting the heart, looking up. Exhale, floating the prayer down to the heart space. Good. We'll flow through that little flow, this time not staying in each position. Inhale, lift, rise, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. From there, slide the left foot back, bring the back knee down. Take the tailbone down towards the mat, shift that right knee forward. Press down through the ball and through the toes of the front foot. 1 breath here. And then try to take it the other way. Try to lift the toes and the ball up towards the front of the shin. 1 breath. Keep trying to lift the toes towards the shins, shift the body back, and you'll roll onto the heel of that front leg, little shimmy of the hips from side to side. Good, then place that right sole of the foot back down. Take a little jump step up of the back foot, sorry. Exhale, fold. Other side, slide the right foot back. The back knee comes down. So we're connecting with the sensations of the opening of the body. Draw the tailbone down. Find the opening through the front of that back hip. Press down. Excuse me, I've got a hair in my mouth. Press down through the big toe, through the toes and the ball of the front foot. 1 breath here. Keep sending the knee forward. And then try to take it the other way. So you're lifting the toes and the ball of the foot towards the front of the leg. Again, you'll see that my knee doesn't move and the foot hardly moves. Keep trying to lift the toes and the foot towards the shin as you extend that front leg, shift the hips back. Little shimmy from side to side. And send that left foot forward again. Back toes tucked. Exhale, step it up. Good, inhale, we rise, lift up, reach up, rise up, look up. Exhale, bring the prayer back to the heart space. Good, we'll do that flow one more time. Really focusing on the feet, focusing on the ankles as we move. Exhale, take it down. Where do you feel the weight through the feet as you fold? Inhale to lift up halfway. And then slide the left foot back. Back knee comes down. Shift the pelvis so you find that opening through the front of the left hip. Right knee draws forward. And you're pressing down through the toes and the ball of the front foot. And then try to lift the toes and the ball of the foot off the mat, keeping the right knee where it is. Don't worry about lifting them off. And then from there, still trying to draw them up towards the shin, we're going to rock back. And we'll naturally roll onto the heel of that front leg. Little shimmy. Good, from there, send it forward once again. Lift the back knee. Little forward fold. Re-lengthen the spine. And then slide the right foot back. Back knee comes down. Shift the pelvis. Left knee draws forward. Press down through the toes and the ball of the front foot. So you're engaging all the muscles down the back of that front leg. Now switch. You're trying to lift the toes and the ball of the foot off the mat so you engage the muscles through the front of the leg. Stabilizing around the ankle. Good, keep trying to lift the toes and the ball of the front foot off as you take the hips back. Extending through the front leg, little shimmy of the hips. From there, roll forward once again, tuck the back toes under, little jump step up, forward folding. Inhale, rising up. Lifting up, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, floating the prayer down to the heart space. Good, from there, take the heels, take the toes out, heels in. So you're kind of looking like a, I don't know what this is, second position ballet. It was a very long time ago for me. Inhale, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the prayer to the heart space, start to bend into the knees and try to drag the feet apart. So as you bend the knees, you feel that strength through the buttocks, supporting the knees widening. Only go down as low as your heels will allow you to without lifting off the mat. We'll take 2 breaths here. And then exhale, plant the hands down. Keep that right foot facing out. The hands are planting down, step the left foot back. Keep trying to slide that right foot diagonally off towards the right. Good, the back knee comes down. From there, press in through the inner arch. So it's like you're trying to roll that right inner foot in like this. And then try to roll it out. So you're stabilizing the muscles around the inner and outer ankle. One more breath here. Keeping the right foot where it is. Inhale, start to take the hips back. And you may feel the opening now, or through the inner line of the back of the leg. So you're getting different fibres of the hamstrings. The foot is still turned out. Kick the toes towards the shin. And again, a little shimmy of the hips from side to side. From there, roll the sole of the foot back down. The foot is still turned out. Tuck the back toes and take a little jump step up of the left foot. Good. From there, slide the right foot back. Bring the back knee down. The left toes are turned out. Draw the tailbone along through the pelvis. And then try to press in through the inner arch of the left foot. So the knee's not moving. It's the ankle that's pressing down and in. So hopefully you feel a little bit through the left outer ankle. One more breath here. And now try to roll onto the outside of that left foot. Again, the knee doesn't move. So it's a very subtle move. So hopefully you see more of a lift through the inner arch. One more breath here. When you're ready, back toes are tucked. Take a little jump step up. Then sit back down into your malasana. Again, just however much your heels and your ankles will allow you to, but keeping the heels grounded. One breath here. Take the prayer back to the heart space. I'm rooted, I'm grounded. Inhale, lift it up, press the floor away, rise up. Exhale, float the arms back down to the body line. Good, we'll take one more like this. Once again, lifting up, rise, reach. Exhale, float the prayer to the heart, try to slide the feet away from one another as you bend the knees. You want the knees and the feet to be going in the same direction. So if you find that this is happening, then turn the feet in a little bit more. Keep the heels connected with the ground. One more breath. Then exhale, take the hands down. Right foot stays where it is. Slide the left foot back. Back knee comes down. Keep the right knee in the same position. Press down through the inner arch of the front foot. Again, you may find that it's a very, very subtle movement. Don't worry about how big the movement is. I want you to feel the quality of the movement. So you're connecting to that right outer ankle here as you press down through the inner arch. One more breath. And then try to roll onto the outside. Roll onto the outside of that right foot. Again, the knee's not moving with you, so you're not taking the knee, butterflying it out. It's just the ankle that's moving. 2 more breaths here. Oh, hello feet. When you're ready, the back toes are tucked. Lift the knee, slide that left foot forward. Good. We'll take the other side, slide the right foot back. Back knee comes down. And then press down through the inner arch of the front foot. That left knee does not go anywhere. So make sure it's a subtle movement through the ankle rather than a movement through the knee. One more breath here. And then shift to the other direction. Try to roll onto the outside blade of the left foot. But you're not lifting the foot off or rolling. It's just you're trying to take it in that direction. Another 2 breaths here. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, a little jump step up. Sit back down into Malasana. Keeping the heels grounded. Try to drag the feet apart, place the palms together in the heart, at the heart center. One more breath here. Inhale, press the floor away. Find that strength through the legs, through the buttocks. Reach the arms up and away. Exhale, floating the arms back down. Good. All right. From there, heel toe the feet in a little bit more. And then spread the toes. So we've worked through the fascia of the feet, we've worked around the ankles, so hopefully you'll get a little bit more spread from the toes, even if it's just a millimetre. Spread through the right toes, and try to drag that leg back so you feel solid, almost like there's a piece of scaffolding around that right leg, keeping it supported. Shift the weight into the right leg, making sure that the hip doesn't pop out, so keep it strong through right outer hip. And then slide the left toes back, just onto the tippy toes. Press the inner thighs together. And then as you exhale, imagine you're on a seesaw. So your right leg is what's grounded, and your body, from your crown of your head to your toes, is the actual seesaw part. Draw the body down towards the mat. Taking your warrior 3, and just as much as is available for you today, so you don't have to go all the way down here, especially if it feels like a lot of strain on the foot or the knee or that right hip. Just wherever you feel strong and supported without overly doing it. And imagine that energy drawing through the whole body, from the left toes through to the crown of the head. One more breath here. And then inhale, draw that left knee towards the torso as you stand it up. Keep pressing down through the big toe of the right foot. Hug the left knee in. And make sure you're squeezing around the right buttock. So you're kicking down through the right leg, rising up tall. And embrace the wobbles at the same time. Trees move, they may be rooted, but they still move. And even buildings which are made of steel, they also move too. So we need an element of flexibility even when we're feeling strong. Final breath here. And then from there, let go of the left knee, take it back, extend through the leg, bend into the right knee, step it back, high lunge. Good. Try to drag the feet towards one another to get that inner line of the legs, so you feel that strength and you feel that support lifting up. And take the arms behind you to open up through the heart space. Whatever bind is available, whether it's the opposite elbows, fingers, or take a hold of the thumbs. Draw the arms away from the body, making sure not to pop up through the chest. But you feel most of the opening around the heads, the shoulders, and just here into the chest muscles rather than into the rib cage. Final breath here. Exhale to release the bind. Take the hands down inside of that front foot, and then walk yourself so you're facing the long edge of the mat on the left. Now I'm just going to shift myself so I'm not rude and have my back to you. So I'm going to shift to the left long edge of the mat, opening out, and we'll take it into our ninja squat, so our kind of single leg squat. And just as we did in our double leg squat, try to slide the feet away from one another so you really get that support from our big main muscles at the back, our buttocks. And keeping the heel grounded just for the first couple of breaths, just to work the mobility around the ankle. And then allow yourself to sit as low as is available for you. For the hip, maybe that right heel lifts. Maybe it stays on the mat, but still trying to slide the feet away from one another. Last breath here. And then maybe taking your hands behind you, maybe creating a challenge, reaching the arms in front as you sit your bum down onto the mat. Good. Take a hold of that right leg with the left hand. Press the right knee away from the body, opening into the right inner thigh, and then lift the right arm over the ear. Keep pressing down though, even though the right knee is drawing away from the body, press down through that right inner arch. So your foot is trying to do that, what is called pronation. Last breath here. Inhale, lift it back up. Use that left hand to raise the body up. And then exhale, draw that right knee in and rotate it down towards the mat. Take the hands either side of the hips and rock on the right sole of the foot. Don't worry if the right knee doesn't come all the way down to the mat. You just want to feel some movement around the right hip joint. So you may find that this is your range of motion. You want to move it from right to left, left to right.